Hey everybody, it's been a while. We have a lot of stuff to catch up on, so this video is going to be pretty long. Sorry about that, but hopefully we get to doing the things that you want me to show. If you're wondering what those things on the thumbnail are, they actually are the Northern Lights. We saw that on May 10th. We got some really good display down to the actual south, because it went from the north and came down south, and we got some pretty good pictures. It was cool. Here we are today for the May update. We're starting here, which we normally do actually, but this is Mom's tomato starts. They grew really fast, and they're flowering already. So it's crazy, honestly. That was kind of a bad stutter. And here, if you're wondering what this fence thing was, I made this fence to try to keep the chickens from eating my little perennial plants I planted in here. But it didn't work, and I don't think the perennials sprouted anyway, so they're not really, I'm not really upgrading the fence or anything. It's just sitting there. You know, here's our lilies that are blooming right now. This is Lori, these little plants. She also made a fence around them or something. I'm not entirely sure what. There's a cosmos and a snapdragon. Over here is our other plant starts. Mom's petunia just bloomed that she grew from seed. That's awesome. Here's my petunias, these that I got from the local greenhouse. Local school greenhouse is what I meant. And yeah, so we have like peppers and marigolds and basil and nasturtium. And there's some other stuff. Over here are our peach trees, which were doing really well. I think they still are, but all the peaches, which are the biggest they've ever gotten, by the way, since we've been here, they have wormholes, supposedly. I haven't seen any, but it makes sense. We forgot to spray them. So they'll probably just do what they do normally, which is just rot, and we never get any peaches. Oh well. Now our chickens are over here in the rest of our orchard. We put them in here pretty recently, like a week ago. Right before we went to Colorado. Hey chickens! Can't really see them. And here's my garden, which has been doing really well. Like, this is the best garden I've ever done, which isn't really saying all that much, but still it is. Got kale in the back row and a bean plant, and lettuce, Swiss chard, and beets, cauliflower, which I also got from the local greenhouse, and sunflowers. And this row is cucumbers and radishes, which I'll harvest the radishes pretty soon. Actually, let's go in here so I can show you. I also planted like marigolds in between a bunch of where they didn't sprout or died. Here is where my moss roses were last year, and they reseeded, so these things are. So that's why this part is open, so I could let them reseed. I transplanted the biggest ones over there already. And then this is my snapdragon, which I'm going to grow into my trellis. Well, which I am growing underneath my trellis. Over here I've got my little tomato, and then basil, tomato, basil, tomato, basil, tomato, basil. Ooh, my purple basil's flowering. Whoa, look at that, that's cool. It's like pink. yeah, that's my tomatoes and basil. And here I planted snapdragons in a flower called Scabiosa, which doesn't sound that cool, but it is. And then, really, the only thing left I have is this one snapdragon, which I'll probably just transplant with the other ones. Here I have globe amaranth, there's my mouse roses, and my peas, which are doing great. They're actually getting too tall for the trellis. Like, one was quite a bit taller than me, this one right here. And then it just snapped, so I just stuck it down here and it's growing back up again. And this variety has cool pink flowers. It's called, let me check this. Magnolia Blossom Tendril. They do really good. And the peas actually taste really good. And these plants right here are borage. They are getting bigger than I thought they would. Because I planted them when the peas didn't sprout, but they're quickly filling that space. Oh, and also, I have these pole beans, which that one's getting really eaten. I have these pole beans on all my posts, so they wrap around and then go on the fences. So I have this like cool flowering pole bean thing around the corners. Around my fence. But the ones in the corners, Ernesto gave me, and they're supposedly pole beans, but they're not, because this one has white flowers. Yeah, and it's blooming, and yeah, it's a bush bean. Actually, they're all bush beans except for that one right there, so I'm gonna have to replant them, I think. Yeah, so that's my garden. Maybe Ernesto wants to show us his.
So we went to Colorado and then we came back and there was a bunch of flowers, only like 2 peas.
There's no grapes on this plant.
Then we came back. Well, then after, so about 2 days ago, a bunch of peas.
Yeah, this kind is called King Tut Purple.
They're definitely shelling peas.
It's but they're very purple.
This is what I do to hopefully keep the rats from eating them. And here's my basil. That wasn't doing well. Ow, really?
Oh, that's pretty big. Yeah, there's a woodchuck that made its hole right over there, by the way.
It's a groundhog.
Mom doesn't think it's woodchuck.
Well, it could be a groundhog or something else like that.
Those are big rodents.
Yes, it's a very large rodent. And it made its hole right there, and
With buttons.
I don't know if it's been it or something else that's been eating in his garden, but it ate like most everything that he had in here. So he just has like a carrot, that basil, the peas, and that tomato over there.
And an artichoke.
And the one artichoke in the pot over there.
Gently pulled it out in the garden.
Yeah.
And then it had like no root.
This garden we haven't really started yet. It's mostly going to be like cucumbers and stuff like that from what I remember. Though we did transplant strawberries, which are right here. Right? We just right here? Oh, we did them right here too. They're like completely overtaken by weeds because everything's growing so fast. Yeah, over here we haven't been taking the best of care because we're focused on that garden and that garden in our house and all sorts of other stuff.
Over here is our comfrey, which is massive, and it's about done flowering now. Was flowering before. And then here's our garlic and our tomatoes that we just recently put here. Oh, this one fell over. Why'd you fall over? And it looks like Ernesto and Andrew are doing a Nerf war or something.
You hit me 3 times.
Here, Mom's strawberry bed. They're the first of them are starting to get ripe now. One right here somewhere that's, oh, there it is. It's just about ready. It's so exciting. There's a ton of strawberries in here. Like, they're all doing great. We're excited. There's Cream Puff and Raven and Tom. Hi, Tom. Looks like he joined him now. But his friend Jerry got eaten by something, and we put up game cameras next to the tree that Tom was still sleeping in and Jerry was sleeping in. We put it up the night after, and we think this was the culprit. Oops, wrong video. Actually, we think this was the culprit. It was a coyote jumping up into the tree. And after this video, Tom relocated to a tree over there, which is much taller and much closer to the house. He was sleeping in that one way over there. You okay? But anyway, he's been fine. Some close shaves with the coyote, but I think he's doing fine now. Okay, so here's this garden, which has had some major improvements lately. Lots of flowers and basil and things added. Mom's green stalk is getting greener and pinker. And like brighter colored, I guess. The peppers are getting big on that plant. I love the nasturtium that is so pink. There's all sorts of stuff on here. Marigolds, petunias, basil, peppers, strawberries, lettuce, lots of stuff. And yeah, we just have a lot of stuff in here. Potatoes, lettuce, and then Lori actually was growing this borage, and then we transplanted it in here, and it's about to bloom. It's cool. Excuse me. Whew. Sorry, I have it's allergy season. And then we have peas here, lettuce here, and more peas, which are getting huge. Been meaning to pick some more stuff. And then here we have this plant, which has a very interesting story. 2 years ago, I guess we dropped a melon or something over here, because we weren't growing melons over here before. And so last year it grew, like there was this volunteer plant right here that grew as this weird melon hybrid thing that crossed at some point. And then we just left it there and it rotted because it never really got ripe and it was really wet. And I guess there's a new volunteer one of second generation of that thing, so that's kind of cool actually. And here's some volunteer pole beans from last year that I've found in this arch and are growing up already. Here's Marty the fake dead crow, which actually seems to work. And carrots, which are better than all the carrots we've ever done before. And here's some more tomatoes. And this whole section of the garden is just like turning wild. It's hard to keep up with the growth of spring. This is a kale plant from last year actually. Not a volunteer, it's survived the winter and it's flowering now, or trying to. Also, we have a lot of little volunteer lemon basil. That's what all these things are. We had 2 lemon basil plants right here last year, and they reseeded a lot, I guess. I love lemon basil. It smells and tastes so good. There are spinach going to seed, which were really good before they were going to seed, and peas, and carrots, and flowers, and herbs. Basically what all this stuff is. We're going beans and more beans and cucumbers on these arches. So yeah, that's the garden right now. Doing pretty good, I feel like. Did you just shoot a nerf shot at me? So they stacked these cinder blocks so they could get up into the tree. Careful. And then they made this pulley system. Remember to talk loud, guys.
Okay, here's the first one I made. Go like this. Oops,
lowers this thing down.
That's my first
And when he wraps that around it, holds it on. Talk louder.
That's my first one. Okay, here's my last one.
So it's this bike wheel.
I love getting it up because it's a trick. What? How'd this not? Come on. Okay. I think this is it. And it's coming down.
Interesting.
And then going up is an awesome, awesome trick.
Because you have to make it
So right on these branches, you have to
Oh,
wait
cool.
till it's swinging a certain time to make it. Whoops. There.
Wow.
Down is much easier than going up.
And then just go down and just play.
Interesting.
Yeah, those things slide. That's why I'm not used to that. That's what I'm used
Is that everything over here?
That's our pulleys and our amazing tree to climb.
Okay, so over here we had something called Sand Dollar City, excuse me. But we had a storm a few nights ago that completely obliterated it. Like, we started rebuilding it. That skyscraper, that's how it was actually. It was completely demolished. Like, there was nothing there. All the cans were gone. The cardboard was gone, ripped. The church roof flew off. That's the church, by the way. Those were set adrift. Really, these two things are the only things that were still intact. It was kind of crazy. Here's the most recent picture of what it looked like before the storm. Here's the former Bruder barn, which we turned into the cat condo for our new barn cats, who hopefully will be barn cats this time. This is Georgie. Hello, Georgie. Haven't had you for very long. But this door will open once they get used to this being their home. Oh, Georgie, you're so fluffy.
Up there as soon as we close the door.
This is Fiona, who is came from the same litter as Kaisha and Chow Chow. Come out, Fiona. Come here. Come on, Fiona. I want to show them how you look the same as your sisters, but also different. Come here. Oh well. Over here are not our goats, but they are the first goats that have been here while we've been here. They are our neighbor's goats, and we're taking care of them while they are in Virginia, I think. This one is Joan. Hi, Joan. And this one is Marge, I think. You're Marge, right? I don't remember for sure. I got them mixed up. But they're kind of like grumpy old ladies, huh? Hi. How are you doing? Here's Scrubs, who is not dead, though she may look like it. Hey, Scrubs. How are you doing? How are you doing, Scrubby Muffin? Hello. I brushed her the other day, and she loved it. Oh, you love the scratches. Here's a clip from a couple weeks ago.
Hey, Scrubs. She's our last remaining original piglet of Rosie and Gimli's piglets. Huh. And nobody wanted you because you had a skin disease or something. But then we treated her for parasites. And she's doing great now, huh? Your skin's all better. And you still love the rubs, huh? Because all piggies do. Or at least all coony piggies do, huh? Looks like she's just taking a bath. Oh, you love those rubs. Oh, yes, you love those rubs. But your piggy life is so hard, huh? I got a great picture of Scrubs the other day when I was rubbing her. Isn't it cute? Huh, 'cause you're so cute. Like the best little piggy ever. We all love Scrubs. I'm glad we didn't give her away. Over here across the creek, we have the big pigs. There's Gimli to the right, and the feeder pig to the left, and Rosie Cotton. Hopefully, both of the female pigs, which is not Gimli but the other two, are pregnant by now. Hey Gimli! Want to show us your tests? You're not Gimli. Oh yeah, look at those tusks. We had El Porco, who was our male feeder pig, processed a bit ago, and he tastes good. Look, I like homegrown pork a lot. Hey, Rosie Cotton. He won't be eating you anytime soon, I don't think. There's the pigs. And over here, which I don't know if you've ever been, honestly, at least not in the video, you can see there's a tree that fell across our driveway here. Probably the biggest tree that we had on our property. And yeah, for Sand Dollar City, the storms that breaks parts of Sand Dollar City we call hurricanes, and we go in alphabetical order, and this was G, so it was Hurricane Georgia. And that same storm fell down this tree.
And it utterly destroyed.
Hey, Katie. So, yeah, this tree is a very large sycamore. It is massive. And it just, like, randomly toppled last night. It wasn't last night. It was a couple nights ago. Ugh. This thing, it barely missed the power line and the shipping container. It like fell right in the perfect spot, except that it's blocking a driveway. But I mean, that's the best it could do, honestly. This thing is big. And poor tree, though. Now let's show him the root ball, Andrew.
What?
Let's show him the root ball. So when it fell, it actually took several other trees with it, like this big dead one, and that big dead one, and like this whole thing. This is its root ball or something. Look at that. That is humongous. Don't go much closer to the edge, okay? But yeah, I pulled up this entire bank of the creek, and Ernesto and I walked down there, and Mom took a picture, and we were the first people to tread ground on that spot for who knows how long.
Over there behind me, there was a part where Ernesto and I stepped. I stepped in it more, and when I stepped, my boots sunk, and I barely managed to get out before they got stuck. It was like quicksand.
Yeah, it's like quicksand right there, because I don't know if that's ever been exposed before. But yeah, the creek and the wind, which was blowing this way, combined toppled this tree, which is pretty crazy. It was one of the trees I never would have expected to come down. And over here we got the cows. And Booger and Spike. Hey cows! Spike is the one with the horns. It's pretty easy to remember. Hey Spike. Hey Booger. We're gonna have Booger processed in a couple months. 'Cause he's almost 2 years old now. It's kind of crazy. Hey Spike. So Spike is the one who tries stuff and likes it. Booger is a picky toddler. Huh. You're so whiny. You moo at us all the time. Hey Spike. But they're both steers. We're probably gonna eat both of them. Hello. So we have now poured the concrete for our basketball court. It was going great at the beginning. You can tell we did a good job. And then over here, so we miscalculated somehow how much concrete we'd need, and So what we ordered only got to here, even though it was supposed to be extra. So we had to order another cement truck for just this much. And so it was going good, and then you can tell it was drying up because it was hot. And then this came. Well, this was mostly dry, but we weren't completely done yet. And this was drying really fast because it was a lot drier and clumpier than that one. And so it was really hard to get it right because it was drying so fast and we were all exhausted at that point. So it's not looking the greatest, but we're hoping to grind it and add some more bits of concrete, fill in the cracks or whatever you do. I don't know how that works. But we had extra concrete, so we filled in this car track over here. It was Mom's idea, and we dug it a couple days before the concrete came. And we made it with these house pads. It's great. Like, it's so cool to have this thing, and I never would have thought about it or thought of making something like it. Mom has the coolest ideas. But you can tell we haven't gotten all the stuff off the edges yet. Yeah, this thing is cool. We're excited to have it and use it, which we have been actually. Back on this side of the creek, where there's this area over here where we're putting tomatoes here. I mean, this whole thing's gonna be tomatoes, I'm pretty sure. We're kind of just starting. And this side is gonna be peppers. Maybe not just peppers. Hey, Mom. Is what's going over here just going to be peppers, or?
So 2 rows of peppers, and then sunflowers and corn on this whole back part.
Okay, cool. So yeah. And then there's our pumpkin patch over there, which isn't really pumpkin patch yet. Okay, now we're over where the pumpkin patch is. Now just listen to the cicadas. It's pretty crazy. I think there's supposed to be 2 kinds this year, so it's going to be even crazier than normal, which is why I guess we're hearing cicadas so loudly in May already. Yeah, this is what it looks like so far. We're kind of behind. But we planted squash in June, the first year we were here, and thought they did way better than last year. So we'll see. We'll see what works. We'll see what happens. And so yeah, that's that's what's going on right here. Happy little homestead.